Morning. I hope you had a good weekend, good week, good weekend. My weekend was my Sunday started out a little rough. Today is Sunday for me. It's just about noontime, and I had to take a cat to the urgent care today. And he kind of licked his leg raw. He's got an infection, so now he's in the cone of shame, which he's never had to wear before. And so we're a little challenged right now, but that's okay. We'll figure it out eventually. Um, I say that, but there's somewhere in my head that's like, I cannot believe we have to go through this. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, I've been talking about the four, um, what do I call it? The four pillars, I guess, that Sydney Banks shared with his students about the principles, about both learning them and sharing them. And so far, I've covered number one, keep it simple. Number two, look within. Today is number three, it's a feeling. And it's funny because in the community, people get very confused. And not even anybody. We talk about the difference between the feeling and feelings like your emotions, right? So what the principles point to is that we're alive, we're aware, and we think. And those three components make up every experience that we have, including our emotions, right? So today I've been a little up and down, having to, wait for the vet to, found out that they had a vet open. Yay, exciting. And calling the vet, making an appointment, great. That was off my mind. I felt better about that. And then I had to catch my cat, which was a bit of a challenge. He didn't want to go anywhere. He's not a fan of that. So I was feeling a little frustrated, a little upset. Um, so then mood kind of came down a little bit. Get him in the carrier, get him into the car. Good, everything's all set. Now we're on the way to the vet. I'm feeling better, right? So you can see just this very small example. Get him to the vet, and they tell me, oh, he's got an infection. They did a little sample. He's got an infection. He needs to be in the collar. And then all of a sudden my heart sank because I thought, oh God, how am I going to keep this cat in a collar? What's going to happen when I'm not home and he's there by himself? How are we going to keep him from licking? They wanted to use a topical lotion. And, so you can kind of see all the thinking in my head and the whole mood just kind of coming down. And so that's feelings being created by my thinking. Whatever thoughts are going through my head, however I think about the circumstance, that's how I feel. That's my emotion. What I'm talking about today is not that. What I'm talking about today is the feeling of innate mental well-being, of innate resilience, of innate peace of mind. The feeling that we tap into when we're not too up in our heads. If you go back to the snow globe example, when we're, really shaking the snow globe, which I was doing this morning from the time I had got up and saw how bad his leg was, to taking him to the vet and da 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 da. We're doing a lot of snow globe shaking. But the feeling that I can tap into, and I did a couple of times, was the settled feeling, the innate well-being feeling, the mental health that lies within every one of us comes as a feeling. And for me, that feeling is calm and settled and quiet. Maybe even content comes to mind. That it will be different for everybody. So the way that feeling feels to you may be different. But one way I explain it is it's kind of like when you're up in your head, you feel tension, stress, and upset. You're trying to figure things out. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my cat. And, I'm trying to find answers that really I don't have because we've never been through this before. So really the best thing for me to do is kind of settle back into the unknown, let what comes come, and deal with it as I have to deal with it. That's actually a more productive way of handling it. But that's not my first go-to move. It's not most people's go-to move. And that's okay. But that's why we talk about the feeling. The feeling is kind of, someone said to me once, you know, it feels to me like what you do with people is spiritual. And it's that spiritual feeling, that spiritual connection, that place within all of us. Some people call it going home. It's that place within all of us that we all know and sometimes we forget exists. But that's the place that we can come back to and find creative answers. We can find our peace of mind. We can find our resilience and our innate mental health. And that is available to everyone. This is not a special quality that any one person has, because these are principles. These are innate laws. You know, you're alive, you're aware, and you think. And one of the implications of that spiritual fact, those spiritual facts, is that there's a place within you that you can go back to and rely on all the time, whether it's visible to you in the moment or not. Once you start to get a feel of that space, you can return to it again and again and again. So today I'm driving to the vet and I'm felt myself getting all tense, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just see how it goes. It's kind of my favorite go-to saying. I actually have a post-it on my wall that says that. But anyway, that's what I wanted to say about the feeling. If you have any questions or comments about that, I would love to hear it. Just reply back to the email and I'll do my best to talk about it some more if we need to. Next week, we're going to talk about number 4, which is give it away. So we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. Enjoy your week. Have a good time. Take care.